Hi everyone, this is Lindsay from Imaginary Rebel Art Studio. Today we are going to be painting this Valentine's Day Highlander cow. We're going to do it a little differently though because here with Imaginary Rebel we like to be rebels and change it up a little bit. So we're not going to do the black background, we're going to do something different. But anyway, I just wanted to say hi and welcome. I know it's been a long time since I've done one of these, so just kind of bear with me. But as usual, you need to have some water. And I have an apron on, and I have a paper plate for my paints, and then my canvas. This is a 12 by 16 canvas, so it's a little bit smaller, or bigger actually, than I normally do. But it's still good size, I think. So anyway, we're not going to quite do this, what it looks like, basically. Similar, but not quite. And then this is on here, it's kind of like printed on here. And so I didn't have to trace it, which was nice. But we're going to use different paints. I don't have specific paints I'm going to use really to tell you what they are. After this is over, I can put them in a list for you if you'd like to know if you want to do it at home. But we're going to use some brushes. I am going to use my 1-inch brush and probably some my round brushes and maybe a detail brush as well. So a couple of those. And I think that's it. So I'm going to sit down and I just hope that this works. I'm using a new or a different kind of mount this time, so we'll see. But in the comments, if I can try and look at them real quick, if you can't see the canvas at any time, just put it in the comment. Let me just make sure it says playing on Facebook real quick. And I hope everyone's having a good day so far. Let's see here. Well, my computer just shut down. Well, we'll just get started. And then when my computer decides to work, I will try to see if I can see comments. But until then, just kind of sit tight and watch the show. So anyway, I'm going to sit. Get my blanket on real quick. I'm not going to turn my heater on. I think it makes it kind of maybe too loud to listen to. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm trying to see if I can share this with my page as well. But I don't know. It's been a long time since I've done one of these live, so I'm not sure how to do it. Well, anyway, it's okay. We're just gonna get started. So again, instead of doing it like this, we're gonna change it up and do something different. Similar, but different. Usually when I have my paint parties, I encourage everyone to do something different instead of the same old thing. So that's what we're gonna do. So this is, again, printed on here. It's called Sublimation. And it's a little dark, but we're gonna just kind of go over it anyway. But instead of painting the background black, I'm gonna do like a teal color, and I'm actually gonna use aqua. This is from Folk Art. A lot of what I'm gonna use today is from Folk Art and Deco Art Americana. Those are kind of the paints that I'm gonna use today. So also, as you come on and watch the video, if you could just say hi in the comments, and as soon as I'm able to see them again, I will say hi back. But hang on one second. My computer is on its way out, so it keeps dying on me, but I'm bringing it back up. But yeah, just kind of say hi and just say like where you're from, how you're doing, things like that. I love to interact with people on these, so please make comments, or even emojis is good. Emojis would be nice. Some kind of interaction. All right, so I'm gonna use some white. I use just craft paint white, although this one's a little thicker than normal, but that's what we're gonna do. And so I have my water, which I'm gonna put over here, because typically what I try to do is have, because I'm right-handed, I try to have all my supplies on my right. Otherwise, I risk like bringing stuff over my canvas, and I don't want to do that. So it just came back on, so let me just get this back going here. But I wanted to do this today instead of tomorrow because tomorrow is Super Bowl. So please let me know in the comments as well who you're wanting to win, whether it's the 49ers or the Chiefs. Please let me know. All right, let's see here. Just getting my brush wet. My brushes are kind of dry right now, so you always want to have a nice, like, wet brush. Not like dripping wet, but just wet enough where, you know, it just basically is not dry. So I'm just going to rinse it off. And then I have, you can use a paper towel. And then I have a towel that I usually use, but I don't know where it's at this moment. So I'm going to use a paper towel to rinse off. Let me get this a little closer maybe, like, but I want to make sure you can see it. Let's see. You can just see all my paint. There we go. So I'm just going to kind of go like that. So I'm going to make, it looks like a little dark. Let's see if I can brighten it a little bit there. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. Well, anyway, you let me know if you can see it or not see it. Or if it's too dark, I can turn on more lights. But anyway, I'm just going to start. So I'm going to use some aqua. Let me just make sure you guys can see that. There we go. And I'm just going to be painting this. This is a thicker paint, so if it's too thick for you, just add some water. But again, not dripping. I typically don't like to add water when I'm painting, so it just makes it look different. If I was doing more of like a watercolor kind of scene, I would use more water, but that's kind of not what I'm looking for right now, so I'm just going to do that. Oh, my computer came back on. Let me just see if it's going to work for me here. And let's see. 1 second. Well, it looks like it's live. All right. Well, let me just do this one thing real quick here. I'm going to invite everyone to watch it. Okay. All right. So we're just going to keep going and painting this. So again, we're not doing the black background. I'm going to do this pretty teal color because I like teal. But you can do anything you want. You could do pink, whatever you want, really. But we're just going to be doing this Valentine's Day one here. And I'm just going to paint the sides as well. I usually paint the sides on all my paintings because I usually hang them up. And so when I was hanging them up at work, I would notice ones that I didn't get the sides, and I would just like, oh, just, I felt like it looked horrible, even though I'm sure it didn't. But just as like a pet peeve, I guess. So I always do the sides, even if you don't hang it up. It's just good practice, especially if you paint kind of over the sides. I don't know, maybe it's an OCD thing, or I don't know what it is, but that's up to you. I'm going to paint over this part, and because it's so dark, this printing on here, you're gonna be able to see it. I think you should be able to still see it there. So I'm just gonna go around the flowers, and if you get it in the flowers, it's okay, because I don't know what color I'm gonna do the flowers yet. I'll probably do kind of a darker pink. Not sure yet. anyways, just going to put this on here. I used to do these lives all the time, and I just kind of got busy, but I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to try to have them more often. I am having another one next Saturday at 3, so stay tuned for that one. Every week they'll be different. And so I'm also working on my membership, where I'm kind of coming up with a kind of a little like academy, I guess, if you want to say, of like how to use like certain brushes, how to use, you know, certain mediums. Mostly I use acrylic for my paint parties and for this stuff, but there's oil and watercolor, those types of things. And then there's, I can never say it right, but there's another one, I think it's Gosh or Nosh. It starts with a G. It's like GNOUCH or something like that. But that's kind of like a medium between watercolor and acrylic. So just things like that, just different kind of learn about art, and hopefully in a fun way. But I'm kind of going into, I just covered, so I wasn't paying attention, and I covered the horn, and I'm going into her fur there. So the best thing about acrylic is once it dries, you can paint over it. So I'm just going to let that dry and then just kind of redo the horn there. I painted right over it, so it's all good. All good. Alrighty, so I'm going to kind of move this over a little bit so I can get the other side here. So again, we're just going to paint this Valentine's Day Highlander cow. And as you come on, just kind of say hi and tell me where you're from. And I still can't see the comments, but I'm working on it. But even if I can't see the comments now, I'll look at them afterwards and respond to you. So again, I'm just doing this pretty teal color for the background instead of black. I'm just going right around the flowers here. But I don't want to go into her fur, so I'm not going to go any farther there, but I'm going to paint the bottom here. Let me see if I can see the comments. Let's see. Let me see if I can see the comments. I'm going to turn my computer volume down so that doesn't interfere with it. But looks like you guys can see it pretty good, so that's good. Maybe I'm finally figuring out this mount thing. It's only taken like a year and a half, but I think you can see it pretty good. I know a lot of times before you only saw like half of it, or you just saw me talk, you heard me talking but didn't see it at all, so I think I'm finally getting there. So I'm just gonna paint around the hearts, but again, you should still be able to see it because of the printing on here. just gonna go around the hearts on here, and then again I'm gonna kind of go over them. I don't know if I'll use white like the picture, but we'll see. But again, as soon as this dries, I can paint over it and you won't really be able to tell the color underneath. So I'm just gonna paint in between her hair here, mostly because I'm gonna kind of go over the background area. So I just want to make sure this part is painted so it looks like it's underneath the hair, so that she's basically in front of the background. So I'm just gonna paint all this part. And if you're not comfortable using this big brush, you could always use a smaller brush. I'm using a 1" right now. For a long time, I used to do the 3/4 inch, and I still use that too sometimes. Kind of just depends. The 1" kind of makes things go a little bit quicker. But essentially it's whatever you are comfortable with. All right, so there is, I think most of the background there is covered now with that teal color. So I'm just going to rinse out my brush. So typically when we do these at the paint parties, we do the background and then we start on there's 3 parts of the face. There's 3 different colors. And so basically there's a light brown, a medium brown, and a dark brown. And so we always start with the light brown first and kind of work our way down. So I'm gonna just put my 1" brush down here. I might have to turn the heater on. I'm getting cold in here. But I'll just do like a low setting. And then you just tell me if that heater is too loud. Just let me know in the comments. Hi, honey. You should be sleeping. All right, so I'm gonna be using the light one. So basically I use a lighter brown, which, let's see if I can find one. Let's see. I think that was it actually. Usually it's a lighter brown. Let me see. I thought I grabbed everything, but maybe I didn't. Maybe there's a lighter one. Okay. Well, anyway, we're going to use this one. And I'm going to get my medium round brush wet. And again, just kind of wipe it off there. And so I'm going to get this lighter color, and I'm just going to start with the basically this area and this area. That's kind of where we start when we do the paint parties, is we always start with the lightest color, and we just start with this part. It's a bunch of layers. That's what painting is it's all about a bunch of layers. So we're just putting the first layers on, and then we put on multiple layers. And so this is a very light kind of color, and so because of it, I'm going to be putting a couple of layers of this color down, because I essentially don't want to see the background and I don't want to see the printed lines. But we're just doing this part of the face. And we are doing a spring Highlander Cow at Broken Top Bottle Shop next Monday, the 19th. So make sure you check out my website for that. That'll be a fun one. Everybody really, really enjoys the Highlander cows. They're very cute. And there's just so many different things you could do with it. You know, like, you don't have to use these colors. You can use any colors you want. I mean, you can make a blue cow. I've had people do that before in parties. So really whatever you want, really. But I'm just doing the basics like I normally do. Usually there's a line here. So, but that's okay. I'm just gonna stop kind of right there. And then everybody always forgets the lip. There's a lip right here, and that is this lighter brown color. So I'm just going to wait for a minute and then do another layer. So I'm going to go to the second color, which is usually a sienna of sorts. Let me see, I use burnt sienna, which is this like reddish brownish color. You can also use this one. This is a little bit brighter. This is cinnamon stick. Kind of depends what you like, but this is what I always do is I do these 3 colors. Oh, sorry about that. So this next one, again, is a little bit of a redder brown, and pretty much this section is going to be this color, basically. So I'm just going to paint it. Again, it's so light and kind of watery that I'm just going to paint just kind of the first layer, and then we'll put multiple layers on top of it, and then really we're going to put a bunch of hair on top, so you don't really see too much of these basic first layer colors. But I don't know if you can see a difference really yet. It is a different, slightly reddish color. And then I kind of go, let's see, this is the ear. These are ears. So the ears are usually the darker, the darkest brown, but I just kind of go around the eye, this area, with this burnt sienna, this reddish color. And then I kind of stop here roughly, because again, this section's more of that darker color. So just gonna go underneath the flowers here. And again, I'm just kind of doing the basic layers here first, just to get my canvas covered, because we don't want to see the white. So I'm going over here, and I'm not even really doing like any type of hair like strokes, really. Just really, as long as you're going down and you're kind of curving it, that's good. But again, no one's gonna really see these bottom layers, the ugly layers. So just gonna, but we definitely don't want to paint horizontal. We're definitely wanting to paint vertically. Okay, so that's pretty much it on that one. Because again, this part are the ears, and that's kind of the darker color, which is the burnt umber. So you can kind of see on my plate, a lighter color, maybe even lighter than this, and then medium reddish, and then the brown is kind of the three that I use for my Highlander cows. So I'm gonna go to that brown, that darker brown, and again, just putting the paint down. It's gonna look not good, which is why it's called the ugly layers, is because it just doesn't look good right now, but it will at the end. And you do kind of want these to blend a little bit, just so it doesn't look so divided. But again, I'm going to put a bunch of hair-like strokes on top, so you won't really be able to see or tell, you know, that they're separate. Just going to go like this. And again, we're going kind of just downwards. I kind of flick a little bit. We're flicking paint, right? We're flick, flick, flick. That's how you make hairs. You flick. That's pretty much how you paint anything, right? Is you flick. You flick the paint. Flick, 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 flick. It's my new slogan. You want to flick some paint? Let's flick it. Flick, 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 flick. All right. And then we're going to come on this side and kind of just do the same thing. And again, I'm kind of blending it a little bit there. Just going to kind of move it over a little bit here so you can see it better. So there is the head. So for the body changes sometimes. For this particular one, it's kind of a lighter brown, but for some of the other ones, it's usually this darker color, and then you just kind of build on top of it. But sometimes you can lose the ear because the ear is the same color. So I'm trying to think, maybe I'll just try a different brown maybe this time for the body. That cinnamon stick color. And so again, I'm just gonna, it's very similar to that burnt sienna. It's just slightly different. And you know, you can always add some white to the color and that will lighten it up. Or you can add black to it to darken it. Or just a darker brown you can add to it to darken it if you don't want to use black, since black is so harsh. Let's see if this kind of does to it here. Yeah, that's a little bit different than those other colors. Just so it kind of, again though, these are just the layers that no one really is going to see too much of. It's just kind of the base layers. And it's just to, I don't know if I like that particular one. I might just put some darker brown in it. I think I like the darker underneath better than the lighter, because typically we put lighter colors on top of it. So if it's already light, you might not see it too much. So I'm just gonna paint brown right over that darker brown color. And you can use your 1-inch brush for this part. It's up to you. Kind of depends on the size of the canvas. Because I'm just using a medium round brush, it's okay. I'm just going to use that. But it's up to you. I'm just going to kind of spread it around a little bit here. And again, if you cover things up, it's okay. We're just going to be putting other colors on top of it. So I'm going to just kind of combine the cinnamon stick and that other color, the darker brown, just to give it a little bit of a different color slightly. But again, I'm flicking downwards because, you know, that's how the fur is gonna go, is it goes down. So that is just the brush strokes that I'm doing is downwards. So again, just going kind of around the ear here. And it's a slightly different color so the ear won't get lost. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna move it over a little bit. So I'm gonna go over that teal that I did because I did kind of go into the coat with that background. So I'm just gonna cover that up here. And again, just kind of paint the sides here. I always forget one side. Always happens. So there's kind of the basis of the Highlander Cow and the coat. So again, that's like the first layer of it. Now we're gonna just kind of do that again, and I'm just gonna put like a second layer over just so you can't see the background very much. And again, I'm just doing downward strokes. And you can see kind of how it covers it better as the second coat, because you can kind of see the difference from here, from this side, how much darker it is. And that's what we're kind of looking for. So we just don't want to see that background. I'm just going to do this one over here. I'm just going to go a little bit quicker with this one. So there is that one, and then I'm going to go to that burnt sienna, that middle color, and just cover this part up. But I'm doing it quick because I do want the colors to blend, and I'm going to be putting kind of some more hair flicks over it, and I do want those to kind of blend as well. So if your paint is drying, just put another layer down and definitely go better here. And I'll have to probably do this again because I should have just started with the bottom layer like normal, like I always do, but that's okay. Oops. That's okay. So we're just gonna pull it over like that. Does anybody have any plans for Valentine's Day? I know it's coming up. I think it's Wednesday. Just put it in the comments. Again, I'll kind of read the comments later and respond. Alright, so I'm going to go back to that first color, which is that lighter color, that lighter brown, and just kind of go over it again. Kind of go around the eye there. Kind of blend it in with that burnt sienna color. And then of course the lip area. And I'm just gonna do the burnt sienna a little bit more right here, just to kind of go over that a little bit right there. Like that. And then again, the bottom part I'm just gonna leave because we're gonna again cover it. So that part's okay, it's more the face area. All right, the next part I'm gonna do is the horns, and I'm gonna build my horn back this way. So the horn is gonna be a mixture of white and this lighter color. And so kind of just put some to the side and then get this color out. It's supposed to be a very light brown color, like even brighter than that, like super. Do a bit more here. Yeah, that's more of it right there, and even more white. And so we're just gonna move this over a little bit here. So I'm just gonna do this. So really the bottom part of the horn, and you can use a smaller brush if you'd like for this part, depending on what kind of canvas you have. But basically the bottom part of the horn is this brown color, basically. And then this top part is just pure white. And it kind of blends together and makes a really nice, just a really faint light brown color. You just go all the way to the top and you flick. We love flicking. Flicking is fun. Just kind of blend that in. Oops. If you feel like, you know, you want a little bit more on the bottom, just kind of go back with that brown, other brown, and just kind of go over it again. Kind of just depends on what you want the horn to look like. I'm just going to put a little bit more white on top there. And then I'm going to kind of go over on the other side here and do that again. So I'm going to get that darker brown color and just paint over here. And you see, you can just not even know that I missed that part. I'm going to do the side here. But take that white. Just really kind of, I'll rinse out my brush a little bit and put some of that other color down. So you can really not even tell that I missed that. Just gonna do a little bit right there. And there we go. All right, so let's see. Let's do the nose. So the nose in this one's a pink color, and I think I still like that. So we're gonna try a pink color. Let's see. Do some dragon fruit, but I think that one's not open yet. Let's see if I can find one that's open. Here we go. It's like a purpley pinkish color. Because we are doing Valentine's Day, we want to do some pink and some reds. So we're just going to do a pink. Usually I do pink in these little areas, but it's going to be reversed this time. We're going to do pink on the outside and black on the inside there. And we want to do all of these things, like basically doing the final hair part where we're adding all those flicks. It's the last part because we want to make sure we do it on top of all these other layers. And then I am going to get some black to do the eye. So I'm going to use a smaller brush to do the eye. So I'm going to use one of my liner brushes, or detail brush, if I can get it, maybe not. So it usually is about a 0 or a 00, but just a really small tipped one. And for this one, we're gonna do, I think it's a heart shape. Is it a heart shape? Oh no, it's regular. And then we do a little heart inside of it. So I'm just gonna paint this. Black. And then we're gonna paint those little insides of the nose black. Then I will outline it in black in a little bit. This one always takes a little bit longer because there's just so many different layers. So there's that. All right, well, I think we're ready to start flicking some hair. So basically how that works is you just take the opposite color or the opposite colors of the hair. So for this one, this is a dark brown, so I'm going to use the light brown and this reddish brown and on here as flicks, and you kind of just do that all around. Because if you use the same colors, obviously you wouldn't see it very well. So now you can use it with you can do this a couple different ways. You can use this liner brush and do it. And so I'll just start with this lighter color, and basically we're flicking it, flick downwards. You could do these little flicks. I don't know, you can see. Just doing this little flick, little hairs essentially, like that. You can use your flat brush as well. They'll just be a slightly larger stroke where these ones are smaller. Kind of just depends on what you're looking for. So if I were to do that with this one, it's just going to be, you know, slightly, you know, larger strokes. See the difference kind of? I mean, I like doing the larger brush and then coming back with the smaller brush and adding little hairs at the end. So that's what I'm gonna do. And all I'm doing is using the tip of my flat brush, and I'm just kind of doing these little tiny lines here. And we're just flicking it downwards. Flick down, flick down. Right? And then I'm not going to rinse out my brush, but I'm going to get that burnt sienna on my brush. And I'm kind of do the same thing a little bit. Just add some of that burnt sienna in there. Just little strokes is all you need, like nothing huge. Like that. And then I am going to rinse out my brush. I'm going to get the darker brown on my brush and kind of do it on this one. And again, we're just doing little tiny little flicks downwards. And we do kind of want it to mix a little bit, not too much, with the background color. Because you still want to see the hair. But we still want to be able to see the background color too. So we don't want to cover it completely. And then I'm gonna, without rinsing off my brush, I'm gonna go back to the lighter color. I just put burnt sienna on there, but the lighter color. And we're just gonna kind of go, again, little strokes. It's all about building it up here. And then I'm gonna kind of get that lighter color that I mixed with white, like the color for the horns. I'm gonna kind of get that on my brush, kind of just go through it again. And again, it's all about layering. We're layering a bunch of hair on top. But we still are seeing the background color still. At the end, I'll add a little bit of a, again, like a smaller brush, and then some black and white as well. And then down here on this one, they have like the pink and the teal as the hair for that part. So I'm just going to kind of put my brush in some of the pink. And again, just kind of do little flicks here. Of that pink color. And then I'm going to rinse out my brush and do a little bit of that teal color. And again, just little flicks. Nothing too crazy. And so I'm kind of done with that brush, so I'm going to go back to this smaller brush here, and I'm going to go back to the lighter brown a little bit. Just add a little bit of little just hairs here. And you know, the hairs go different directions, so they don't just have to go like down that way. It could cross a little bit, you know. There's also going to be some hair, so I'm going to use the darkest color, and it kind of goes out here. Flick it, flick up, flick up. Same thing with over here. Flick, flick, flick. Oh, I got some in my horn, but just flick, flick, flick. You can put a little bit of that burnt sienna in there. You know, just kind of over it a little bit. And then that lighter color. Just a couple little, again, flicks. And so I'm going to add a little bit of that pink and that teal color on my other hair. Just a little bit here and there, not too crazy. And then the same thing with the teal color. Little flicks teal. And I'm kind of curving it because that's the kind of the flow of the hair, is you curve it. Alrighty then, there is that cow. So I'm going to paint the hearts this pink color. And you can do this with red or whatever color. I might still use red for the flowers, we'll see. But for right now, I'm just gonna paint this heart here. I don't think I'm gonna paint them all that color, but at least a couple. I'm gonna move this over a little bit here. We'll do this one up here, that pink color. All right, so I'm gonna start with the flowers. So I'm gonna do a couple different colors than that basic pink. I think I'm gonna start with a little bit of a darker color first. Do this fuchsia pop. This a little bit more of a purpley color. So what I'm gonna do is just do the whole flower like that. It's one big, because I'm gonna be building the petals on top of that, but I just need a base color first. And so you see how I'm still doing a curved stroke because it's a circular object. It's curved, circular. So there's that one. We'll do one over here. And again, it's just the base color of the flowers. And then I'm going to do that again over here. I'll do the small one that color. And then I'm going to get a lighter color. Let's see. This one's called Electric Pink. I don't know. I don't remember this one. I don't know if I have to put another color down first. Let me see. We're going to put this one down. Oh, I like it. That's pretty. And again, it's just the base color. I like that color. It's pretty. And again, circular strokes here. Same thing with over here. I think I like that one, so I'm gonna do these hearts that color. And again, you can use your smaller brush for this. It's up to you. I'm just gonna use my bigger round brush. I'm gonna kind of shape them up a little bit in a second, but again, just to get the bottom layer there on there. Okay. So for the layering of the flowers, we usually do it with a couple different colors. So again, we're doing the dragon fruit, we're doing the pump, the fuchsia pop, and we're doing the electric pink. So it's again kind of the same as before. You do kind of the opposite. So because this one is the fuchsia pop, we're gonna start with that dragon color kind of over it, and we're just kind of pushing down these little, just kind of push down. We're just making like a C or like a comma kind of stroke. But always circular. And then now I'm gonna take that electric pink color and kind of go around the other sides that I didn't really cover when I was doing that. But you don't want to like totally, you know, get rid of the purple underneath, and I might just add purple on top, you know. But that's kind of how you build on making a rose or a flower. It's just kind of, you build on top of the other colors. And then I'm actually just gonna add the purple back in there, kind of. Just like on the sides there. It's okay if it kind of blends together. It's kind of pretty when it does that. But again, it's just going in circular, you know, motions here. Same thing with that other one here. We're gonna do the fuchsia pop here. And I'm just doing these little comma type strokes. Typically you kind of start in the center. See if I can move it over here. Then you kind of work on your outside. Then I'm going to use that other pink as well. It's a little bit darker. And again, these are very abstract, so, but that's kind of what makes them pretty, is that they're so abstract. Okay, now we're gonna do the leaves. So the leaf, I pretty much try to do a lighter color. We could start with a darker color, kind of build on that. maybe there's a little bit coming out there. That's gonna be it of that guy. And then we're just gonna kind of paint it down here. Again, you kind of always usually want to start with your darker color on the bottom and then kind of build on top of that. And then we're gonna use, let's see here. We're gonna go do a much lighter, this is called wasabi. I don't know why, I love saying wasabi. We're just gonna do that kind of on top and mix it. So we just kind of, not fully, but you can kind of see the dark underneath it. Oops, got a little bit on there. Just gonna get my little fuchsia pop here and kind of go over that. Don't even really see it. All right, while those are drying, I'm just gonna outline everything here. So I'm gonna get my smaller liner brush and I'm gonna get some black. And I'm just gonna kind of outline some things here. You could do this with a brush or you could do this with a Posca marker. It's better if you do it with a brush. That gives you really good practice at using a liner brush. Sometimes the marker just doesn't look as good. And sometimes those paint markers, you can't really control the paint as well as you can with a liner brush here. I can control where the paint goes, whereas a marker, sometimes paint just flies and you're like, okay, there goes my hard work. So I don't usually like to use the paint pens if possible. But I mean, my hand does shake a little bit, so it's not a good crisp line. So if that's what you're looking for, then maybe a marker is better. So let's see here. Gonna do the lip here. And then let's see. There's a little line here. And there's supposed to be a line here. And then we're just going to outline the hair here. I do like a, kind of depends on what you're looking for, not quite. Just highlight it a little bit there. So I'm not pressing down super hard. I'm just kind of tracing it a little bit. If you want more of a line, then you would just press a little bit harder. And then let's see, we do a little bit kind of underneath. Again, it's kind of to cover some of those lines too, if you don't want your lines to be kind of shown too much. And then kind of outline the leaf. You could just do dark underneath and we'll just give it like a shadow. Just kind of I don't typically do the horn really. I'll probably do the flowers or the hearts a little bit. But that's kind of all the outlining that I kind of do. The next part is to get white. And then with white, just very lightly, let's do little flicks throughout the hair. Nothing too crazy. Can't quite see what I'm doing here. Okay. I'm just putting some white flicks in here. Put a little white line here in the noses here. And let's see, just a little bit right here. Just kind of wherever is fine. Alright, that's not quite dry yet, so I'm going to wait on that. Let's put a little bit here, a little here. And then I'm just going to put a little bit in the flowers. Instead of doing black, I'm just going to do some white lines. Again, they're just curved like little commas. Technically this big flower is supposed to be on front, so I'm just going to go like that. Same thing with down here. A little bit on these ones. And I'm just going right over the top of all those colors. They should be, for the most part, dry. This little one should be in front of that, a big one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of that wasabi color and kind of just do little strokes in the leaves. And then I'm going to get a little bit of white, kind of just put them on top, because that's where the light is the top part, whereas the shadow, the black's on the bottom, because that's the shadow part. Kind of like that. And then let's see. Let me see if I maybe outline these in white. Might look better than the black. Let's see. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to try out some white as an outline. So that's what white looks like. Let's see. I'm going to do black on the other side. Black probably will look better. Except my hand shakes and it doesn't look as good. This is where maybe you'd want to use the marker, the paint marker, to make your hearts look good. I don't know, I think I like the black better. I don't know. Maybe I'll do black, some black, some white. I don't know. I think I just like the black outline better, so I'm just going to do black on them then. And I'll just go over that in a second when it dries with black. I think I like that better. They're not very curvy because my hand is shaking. That one's not too bad. Hearts are hard for me here. And then when that one dries, I'll do black. But maybe I should do white string. So I kind of just go up over the horn. I don't know, I might do black, let's see. Ooh, too much white. All right, the last part is the little eye. So it's gonna be a little heart if I can pull it off. So let's see if I can push it down more so you can see a little better. Again, this is where you kind of want to use maybe the marker instead. It's not quite dry yet, so it might turn gray. Hopefully not. You can kind of see that it might be a heart. Let me try to make the a little bit higher there. And then just do like a couple little dots. And then just do a little line underneath. And then that's pretty much it. That is the Valentine's Day Highlander Cow. And of course, you always initial your work or do a little bird or a little symbol of something that just, you know, says you made it. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for watching. I know that was a little long, but again, there's lots of layers with the Highlander Cow, but I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll just see you next week for the Paris Eiffel Tower live. But I hope everyone has a good day, and, you know, have fun with the Super Bowl tomorrow, and I hope your team wins. Thank you for watching.